Right now, you are making a critical decisions about human capital. You're writing job description, evaluating performance reviews, and perhaps even drafting the names for the Q3 layoff. To do this, you are opening ChatGPT or Claude, pasting in the raw data and executing whatever machines recommend. You feel efficient. You feel like you are leveraging the future. In reality, you have completely abdicated your execution function. You are experiencing a scientifically documented catastrophic phenomena known as cognitive surrender. A recent academic paper had just redefined human psychology, proving that when professionals are given an AI tool, they do not just use it as an assistant. 80% of the time, they blindly adopt faulty, hallucinated AI logic, overriding their own analytical reasoning. Before I give you the exact uncompromising blueprint of the tri-system theory and show you how to audit your HR department to ensure you are not surrendering your corporate strategy to a hallucinating algorithm, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these architectures. We have entered a new era of human biology. Your brain is no longer operating in isolation, it is operating in a triadic ecology. Today, we are going to dismantle the illusion of AI efficiency, expose the behavioral signature of cognitive surrender, and fundamentally rewrite how you hire and evaluate talent in 2026 enterprise. Grab a notebook, it is time to stop blindly following the machine and start executing the human override. Welcome back, I'm Dr. HR. To understand why my approach to the artificial intelligence and human resource is aggressively different from the generic tech evangelist on LinkedIn, you must understand my underlying architecture. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. I do not look at AI as a magic wand. I look at it as a structural algorithm that interfaces with deeply flawed biological hardware of the human brain. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for apex corporate entities and global capability centers, I see executives making a fatal error. They believe AI make their team smarter. The data proves the exact opposite. For decades, we relied on Daniel Kahneman's dual process model, System 1 and System 2. But the integration of the large language models has forced a massive structural revision in cognitive science. We must now operate under a tri-system theory. Let us break down the three systems of cognition, the pathology of cognitive surrender, and the implication that this has on your HR infrastructure. Phase 1, the three systems of cognition. We must first establish the new mechanical baseline of human thought. Tri-system theory argues that modern executive decision-making no longer happens just inside your skull. It occurs within a triadic ecology. System 1, intuition, in vivo. This is your best internal biological gut feeling. It is fast, automatic, highly associative, and deeply prone to emotional bias. When you interview a candidate and instantly like them because you went to your university, that is System 1, executing a biased shortcut. System 2, deliberation in vivo. This is your internal analytical engine. It is slow, reflective, and computationally effortful. When you sit down to mathematically analyze a compensation matrix or build a 3-year succession plan, you are forcing System 2 to burn calories. Because it is effortful, your brain inherently wants to avoid using it. Enter System 3, artificial cognition, in Silico. This is the radical shift. System 3 operates entirely outside the human brain. It is automated, data-driven, and dynamic reasoning generated by algorithms, LLMs, and AI agent. It is fast like System 1, but mimics the analytical depth of System 2. Here is the operational danger. Because System 3 provides instant, highly articulate, and confident answer, it hacks the human biological desire to conserve energy. When an HR director faces a complex problem, their brain will actively bypass the grueling effort of System 2 and instantly outsource the thinking to System 3. This creates a massive vulnerability in your corporate infrastructure. You are connecting a lazy biological processor to a highly confident, hallucination-prone digital processor. Phase 2, the pathology of cognitive surrender. This brings us to the core pathology identified by the researcher, cognitive surrender. The definition. Cognitive surrender is a state where a decision maker adopts to an AI-generated answer as their own without any critical evaluation or verification. They do not use the AI to help them think. They use the AI to replace their thinking, the behavioral signature, and the 80% failure rate. In 3 pre-registered massive empirical studies using a modified cognitive reflection test, scientists proved exactly how dangerous this is. When the AI provides the correct answer, human rises significantly. But when the AI is intentionally fed faulty data and provides a wrong answer, human accuracy drops sharply below. The data is terrifying. When participants choose to consult the AI, they followed its faulty recommendation, roughly 80% of the metacognitive illusion. Worse still, engaging System 3 artificially inflates your ego. The study shows that when user surrenders to the AI, their subjective confidence in their answers actually increases even when the AI has fed them completely incorrect, hallucinated garbage. The HR implication. Let us translate this into your HR department. You have a talent acquisition team deploying AI to screen 10,000 resumes. The ATS algorithm System 3 flags 50 candidates as high match and auto-rejects 9950 based on a flawed, biased parameter regarding tenure. Your recruiter will experience cognitive surrender. They will not audit the discarded pile. They will confidently interview those 50 candidates, completely unaware that the AI just systematically deleted your best, most diverse apex operators. The recruiters will feel highly confident in their shortlist while mathematically executing a strategy that destroys the company's competitive advantage. Phase 3. Cognitive offloading versus cognitive surrender. If System 3 is so dangerous, should we ban it? Absolutely not. Attempting to ban AI in 2026 is equivalent to banning electricity. The apex operator must understand the razor-thin distinction between cognitive offloading and cognitive surrender, the exoskeleton. This is a strategic structural delegation. You use System 3 as a scaffolding tool to assist your active internal reasoning. You are the architect. The AI is the heavy machinery. Execution. An HR leader wants to draft a complex severance policy for a restructuring in the UAE. They uses System 2 deliberation to define the legal parameter, the severance cap, and the cultural tone. They then use System 3, Claude, to draft the 10-page document. Finally, they use System 2 again to ruthlessly audit the output using Article 43 of the UAE labor law. This is offloading. The human retains the agency. Cognitive surrender, the abdication. This is the complete abdication of critical thought. Execution. An HR leader types into ChatGPT, write a severance policy for my Dubai office. The AI hallucinates a policy based on California labor law. The HR leader glances at it, feels confident because the formatting looks professional, and hits send. The difference between offloading and surrender is the presence of the human override. If your HR team does not possess the domain expertise required to spot the hallucination, they are not offloading, they are surrendering. And a team that surrenders to the machine is a massive legal and financial liability. Phase 4, the time pressure trap and algorithmic liability. Why is cognitive surrender running rampant in corporate HR department? Because of the operational environment. Study 2, the time pressure catalyst. The researchers proved that the time constraint aggressively suppressed Systems 2 deliberation and forced massive reliance on System 3. Think about the daily reality of a corporate HR professional or a middle-level manager. They are drowning in administrative noise. They have 400 emails, back-to-back Zoom calls, and a mandate from the CEO to finalize a Q3 performance review by 5 p.m. You place a human under an extreme time pressure. Their biological brains panic. System 2 shuts down because it takes too long. They turn to the AI, copy-paste the employee data, and ask for a performance rating. The algorithmic liability. When an HR manager operates under time pressure and surrenders to System 3 for performance reviews, promotions, or termination, the corporation absorbs massive, unquantifiable legal liability. AI models are black boxes. If a terminated employee files a wrongful termination lawsuit with Mohre, Ministry of Human Resource and Immaterialization, the judge will ask for the documented rationale behind the firing. If your HR manager's only defense is the AI predictive model flagged them for low future output, you will lose the case. You cannot cross-examine an algorithm. Cognitive surrender blurs the line between human and the machine agency. In high-stakes fields like medicine, law, and human resources, the failure to verify System 3 output is not just an operational error, it is a professional negligence. Phase 5, filtering for the need for cognition, auditing your workforce. If the corporate environment naturally pushes human towards cognitive surrender, how do we build an organization that resists it? We must fundamentally change how we hire. Researchers identified exactly which individual traits predict susceptibility to cognitive surrender and which trait act as a protective shield. The high-risk candidate, individual with a high baseline, trust in the AI, and the low need for cognition are massive liability. Need for cognition is a psychological metric that measures how much a person enjoys engaging in effortful, analytical thinking. If you hire someone who just wants the easiest answer, a button clicker, they will surrender to the machine 100% of the protective factors, the apex operator. The only biological buffers against cognitive surrenders are higher fluid intelligence, IQ, and high need for. These are the individuals who actively enjoy dismantling complex problems. When the AI hands them a flawless-looking report, their instinct is not to accept it, but to attack it. Redesigning the interview loop. You must stop interviewing candidates based on their technical skills from 2023. You must interview them on their resistance to System 3 surrender. If your final interview stage hands the candidate an AI-generated strategic plan that looks beautiful but contains 2 fatal hallucinated flaws regarding market data or labor law, give them 15 minutes to review it. If they come back and say, the formatting is excellent, but the core premise violates the UAE data sovereignty laws and the financial projections are mathematically impossible based on current interest rate, you hire them immediately. They possess the high need for cognition required to act as an auditor of the machine. They do not accept the output, they execute the human override. Look closely at the mechanics of your daily workflow. We are living through a structural revision of human reasoning. System 3 is no longer just a tool, it is an active co-agent in your thought process. But if you allow the machine to replace your executive function, you are rendering yourself obsolete. If your only value to the corporation is copying prompt into Claude and pasting the results into an email, a Python script can replace you by Friday. The future belongs to the auditors. It belongs to the professionals who practice calibrated collaboration. They use the machine to handle the volume, but they ruthlessly reserve their biological bandwidth for a final, uncompromising verdict. Stop surrendering your intellect to a statistical prediction model. Demand the evidence, attack the output, process the data, execute the human override, and I'll see you at the